Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. I was just about to record this video and I got a notification on my phone that Siamak had just written an article. So I took a peek and he has impeccable timing. It was about Ripple's Cory Johnson. And I thought, oh, that's just great. So Cory was at an event in San Francisco called Crypto Mondays, and it was streamed live on BFast TV, which is a really interesting channel. If you like tech and stories of entrepreneurs, they have a very spunky, clever team of people who go and do great interviews. But Cory was asked two questions, and I think the questions were very important, one of which I think everybody still gets, and that is the question of centralization. Now, the company, Ripple, is a company that has a CEO, a board of directors, and it is a centralized corporation. XRP is certainly, however, separate and decentralized. Unquestionably, it is not centralized. So XRP has over 160 validators. Ripple only controls 5% of those validators. So how can XRP be centralized? I think people are starting to get it now, but Ripple and XRP are completely two different entities. And the other question he got was pricing. So, I think everybody wants to know, how can Ripple have all these amazing announcements week after week after week, and the price is still so flat? So these custody players, he says, seems like they are getting closer and closer to providing institutional custody. And I think that's going to be a sea change in valuation of digital assets. But it's one of many dominoes that has to fall. Well, if you remember back on October 15th, I'll never forget, I was listening to Digital Asset Investor when I heard for the first time, and I could hear in his voice how moved he was that Fidelity was coming into the space. Fidelity is the fourth largest asset manager in the world. They are going to launch a cryptocurrency platform for institutional investors. And it was announced at that time that they were going to include Bitcoin and Ethereum, but they didn't clarify any other cryptocurrencies. So today, they announced that 13,000 clients have come on board already. They have 27 million clients, but 13,000 have come on board and are ready for this launch. And I'm sure that number is going to grow. When you talk about the size of their company, in total customer assets, it totals $7.2 trillion. It's just mind-boggling. But in today's information, it came out that they are going to look at the top 4 or 5 by rank of market cap to include. So I think you're going to see XRP in that fold, and that is going to be part of this sea change that Cory is talking about. Okay, this is an article that I want to talk about. It was actually a interview that took place on Bloomberg with Quoine's CEO. Now, Quoine is the cryptocurrency exchange here in Japan. They were actually the first. Let me see if I can just bring myself over here. There we go. They were the first exchange to be licensed by the FSA, and they have a CEO who is pretty special. He has a motto: go big or go home. I love it. And his name is Kayamori. He was asked about not only the state of crypto, but a little bit about how Japan is doing. And I think it's important because Japan was the first place to legislate cryptocurrency, and they look like they're going to be the first to actually put through regulations for the ICOs, maybe this month. But when he was asked, have we hit the bottom? You know, this hard fork business, which has totally disrupted everything, and the 100,000 miners that are now closed down because they can't afford to mine. Where are we? Have we hit the bottom? He believes that yes, we are quite near the bottom, and that those situations with the miners, for example, show the exact reason that the equilibrium is just almost here. So we really have to hit that bottom before we can take off again. And we are just waiting for a new catalyst. In regards to the state of exchanges here in Japan, the regulators are starting to approve new applications. That's really great. And also some new listings have been approved. The improvement orders that the FSA put through have been almost fully completed. He thinks that they'll be done by the end of the year. And there has been changes made to the hot wallets. That's important for the security. There is now just a fraction of coins that are allowed to be left in the hot wallets, if not zero. So that framework has totally been changed. And there is more expertise that has come to the space. The ICOs, yep, we're going to have some regulation here sometime this month or next. And I think we'll also see some information of framework come out on security tokens too as well. So if Japan puts through this legislation, I think it's going to have a real impact on all the exchanges around the world. He is focusing on the professional traders right now. He likes the high frequency traders. His transaction volume was the biggest ever last month. So you can see that those dealer brokers and the OTC and the institutional investors, they are really active, and he is working with them to create liquidity. So I think he's going to surpass many of the exchanges when it comes to providing services to the institutional investor. He's one to watch. Okay, look at this. This came to me by someone who follows me on Twitter. It's Phil Garner. He is at Kiwi Phil and numeral 2 if you want to follow him. I asked him, wow, Phil, how did you find this? He said, well, in New Zealand, they're running a commercial. So look at this. Western Union has slashed international sending fees, introducing a new fee structure. You can send money now for as little as $4, and it has a cap of $14. India has a cap of 9, Philippines has a cap of 8, and all the other corridors have a cap of 14. So what is this? What do you think? I mean, do you think it's that they are so embarrassed that we were on them for ripping people off so bad? Or do you think they've got RippleNet in the back end? I don't know. But if you see any other Western Union money transfer services that have cut their fees, I'd really like to know. Okay, everybody, there's a lot of chatter out there with Morgan Stanley, right? So I want to do just a little bit of sharing with you what I think is going on. First, I want to introduce to you Intregal, because it has something to do with, I think, the whole picture. Intregal is a company that builds FX trading platforms, and they do that for banks, brokers, and asset managers. Back on October 19th, FX Week did an interview, and the CEO of this company who is Mr. Sandhu, was quoted as saying that Silicon Valley firms are never for sale. They just get acquired. And it was really curious because for a very long time, he's been quite media shy and actually even a little secretive. But recently he started talking, and he is on a hiring spree. Okay, so just remember that. And if I take you back to December 13th, 2017, we can see the time where Intregal incorporated the solution of an app. It was actually a free iOS app that the users could monitor real-time cryptocurrency pricing. Okay, so this is kind of the time where they started to enter the crypto space. And he is quoted as saying down here that as cryptocurrency becomes mainstream, the retail broker partners must expand their product offerings to include them. So they count on Intregal, reliable infrastructure to help them meet their customers' demands. Okay, so we know that they started to get involved back in 2017. And now we see 2 weeks ago, they have been a part of this launch. This is Mint Exchange. They are a licensed trading terminal that's powered by Intregal. It is an institutional grade cryptocurrency exchange. So just 2 weeks ago, and I want to tell you, by the way, Mr. Sandhu, he is actually also the ex-financial engineer in the capital markets product division at the Morgan Stanley group. So we've got this connection that just is growing, all right? Well, I want to just tell you how unbelievable this site is. Mint Exchange is the world's first cryptocurrency clearinghouse designed for institutions to access all major exchanges through a single gateway. From one account access to deepest liquidity and trade large blocks without moving the market. Wow, this is really something. And this is breaking. Morgan Stanley makes a $15 million investment in Intregal. So I thought, wow, maybe this is the chatter. Maybe this is what's happening. And the most important part of this is this right here, where he talks about, this is Mr. Sandhu again. We look forward to partnering with Morgan Stanley Expansion Capital and leveraging their deep experience and global resources, Sandhu explained. Partnering. Okay, now this was just what? November 27, 6 days ago. And this is funny. This is November 29th. Morgan Stanley Trader Talk. So it is said that, quote, we talk about crypto every day around here. You can bet we'll trade the SH out of it in 2019. So I think it's kind of clear what's happening. It's very interesting, don't you think? Okay, everybody, let me show you something that I'm going to go right to the fluff. I had the best comment yesterday in the comment section. Somebody said, Eddie, when I first started watching your videos, I really thought the fluff was a waste of time and I didn't like it. But now I have found that I look forward to it. So I wanted to say thank you so much for that comment, because I think everybody in this world of crypto needs a little fluff. It doesn't have to be my kind of fluff, but sometimes this crypto space is heavy. And yeah, a little bit of light mind candy is not a bad thing. All right, so I'm going to go right into my fluff. I was just flabbergasted when I was doing some research earlier tonight. I was trying to find something good about Tron because I promised someone I would do a story on TRX. And I did a Google search, and look at this. Look what came up. I took a screenshot of it because I just couldn't quite believe it. The dates came back as January 1st, 1970. Look at that. 1970, 1970, 1970. Explain that one to me. I have no idea. I really just can't make any sense of that. But what it did is it gave me inspiration that if we go back in time, where in Japan would you go that you wanted to see the old Japan? You wanted to see the Japan that hadn't changed for 200 or 300 years. So I'm going to share that with you because it's a very special place. This is a town called Kurashiki in Okayama. It's a little south of here. I'm in Tokyo, so it's south of Tokyo. And I just want to show you, it's just unbelievably beautiful. So we have some pictures to look at. This is a picture that was taken at dusk. This is an old merchant city, and it's on the Takahashi River. And being part of that river, it has canals that run through. And the canals worked as a way to move trade back in the day. So they could move sugar and rice and, gosh, wood, people, anything. And that was how people got around, is by these canals. And they have been preserved. Not only the mills and the shops and the warehouses, but the streets and the bridges and the canals. So it is literally walking back into time, some 200 years. And when we look at the pictures, the architecture is just fabulous. Look at that. It is said by many people who visit that it is the most beautiful city in all of Japan. I don't know. I haven't been there yet, but I really do want to go. And I want to see, I love architecture and I love history. So I think it's going to be a real treat. Look at the steps that come down to the canal. And I'm sure that these stone blocks are hundreds of years old. And the streets are so nicely narrow. It's very picturesque. Even with this modern day delivery guy walking down the street, you still feel like you have come back into the Edo period. Yeah, look at this. This is just so beautiful. And another angle of that bridge. How nice. Yes. Okay. So it's a must visit place, don't you think? There are places in Kyoto that look like this too. But I think that this particular area has done maybe a very good job at saving the whole city. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much and take care. Sayonara for now.